So this is going to be a clip about how we manage a wildlife pond in the winter for amphibians. But I'm just going to show you this mown meadow. So it's the 9th of January and we've had an unnaturally warm and wet autumn. So the grass has been growing really strongly. So Fabrizio has cut the meadow so that it doesn't overwhelm things like the orchids. And then when it's a bit drier, he'll pick up all the clippings. He's not going to leave these grass clippings. He'll pick them up and put them away on the compost so that they don't add fertility to the meadow soil. Right, we're going through the gate to a wild area. This is a deer gate for good reason. And we're going through this gate to a little area where we have a wildlife pond, and Fabrizio's been doing some mowing. And if you're new to the channel, you're very welcome. Please do subscribe, press the bell icon, and we'll tell you when we've got more clips coming up. And if any of the tips and tricks we give you along the way are useful, you can always buy me a coffee, or better still, join my club. 341 members as of this afternoon. Anyway, there's more about club membership and coffee buying in the blurb to all my clips. Right, on we go. So why do we mow, Fabrizio? Why don't we just leave it to grow through the winter?
Well, if we just left it alone to be totally wild, what would happen would be something called succession, which means that this would turn from sort of wildflower meadow to blackthorn scrub and then to oak and ash woodland, which would be no good for the wildlife pond because it would shade it out and drop lots of leaves in it, and it would become anoxic and no good for the amphibians and the invertebrates anymore. So that's why, unfortunately, it has to be mown at least once a year. And you can see here, if I don't mow, what's this thing here? This, that, there.
This?
No, not that, not that bit of plastic. This, that's blackthorn, and it comes up everywhere. And so we have to do it. But there's never a good time because there's always a movement of amphibians. So I just thought it's been pretty cold. It's the middle of January, and so I've cut now.
So why have you brought the
I'm going to put a few more pallets down here because when the frogs and the newts start migrating back into the pond in maybe just as little as a month, they're going to be picked off by the crows and the badgers. So I just want to give them a bit of cover.
This is like a bridge.
Yeah, it's like a bridge to give them safe passage.
Oh, very good. And can you tell me why we have things like this pile of logs here?
Well, these are all sort of hibernation zones and aestivation zones as well. So sometimes the newts, for instance, will be in there over the summer.
Oh, I see. Okay, so the newts go in there in the summer as well as the winter.
Yeah, well, in the summer, and then they sort of stay there until about February, and then they'll migrate in the coldest of conditions back into the pond.
And so you're hoping
that this is not too late, yeah. So I've mown here. I mean, I would have mown in November or December, but it's just been unnaturally warm and wet.
It has.
And I saw a toad in December, so I hadn't wanted to disturb this area at all.
Oh, well, thank you very much. That was very educational, Fabrizio. Look at that lovely winter light.
Soon be spring.
Soon be spring. Tea cake. Come on, what are we doing over here? This is a good pond. It's got lots of beaches. You can see down here, this is small insects and invertebrates can climb in and out through the beaches. What beach? This tea cake doesn't look like a beach to me. I thought beaches were sunny and hot. This pond is quite small, as you can see by the size of tea cake over there for scale. Border terrier for scale. It's just a dinky little pond, and Fabrizio and the children dug it during lockdown, but it's filled up very nicely, and we won't, obviously, because we wouldn't want to disturb them. But in the mud at the bottom of this little pond now are lots and lots and lots of dragonfly larvae. And those are the best bits, I think, about having a pond. When you see the dragonflies hatch and the garden is like a dart with them. They're like little bombers zipping around the garden. They are arguably my favourite things.